Okay, really nice day. The butterflies are out. Plenty of bees buzzing around too. But I'm heading into the greenhouse itself. These are starting to look good. Almost ready. So I need to do some repotting. So what I have to do is this agapanthus. I need to get in a bigger pot. Don't ask me to pronounce it. Osteospermium. Osteospermum. Something like that. Yellow shades of it anyway. The agapanthus is a purple, almost like a lavender, but like balls. And the Salpigillosis bolero, which is another blue. I have my labels. I have my pen ready. Gloves. One new pot ready. So let's hope you can see. This will be interesting. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, because this is really dry soil, I need to get that wet. So I will do that off cam, but I'll put that on the floor and give it a good soak. So it's now all dripping out, but that's fine as long as it's had a good soak ready. I will don my gloves. Don't want to get my nails dirty, do I? And then may as well write the label. I love these labels. Can you tell why? They're nice and blue. So I need agapanthus. I forgot the N. That's really clever, isn't it? I know what I mean, at least. That's the main thing, eh? So we need the new pot. It's now had some water go through it. I need to make a nice hole in the centre. Take the flower very carefully and dislodge the soil in the old pot very gently by squeezing the sides. Lovely. I'm going to remove a little bit of the old soil while I just form the roots a little bit so they're not quite so squashed, because as you can see there's a lot of roots there. So get them all in. And now the soil that I used before, can go along the top. And then just to give it a bit of a boost, give it just a little bit more soil. And the soil that I am using, the compost that I'm using, unfortunately is actually peat soil, but it's carefully sourced. I don't usually get peat soil because removing the peat is actually bad for the environment. And I try where I can, which granted isn't with everything, to try and do my best for the environment with things that I do. So I do a lot of over recycling, upcycling, and planting flowers that I don't intend to actually do anything with apart from to give away and to put back into the community. But plants are life. And if you say that in the comments, who knows, you may get an entry into the silver bucket just for saying plants are life. Right, I've got another one here. Now this pot has had soil in it now for quite some time, and you can see it's gone very green. Nothing has grown from it. Sometimes when, as an example, this delphinium, something grew, it didn't take properly, so after a couple of months I'll put it in a pot. The pot builds up, I leave it for a few months to see if anything actually comes through. Sometimes it does, like it did with this one. I don't know what that is yet, but one day I will. But sometimes nothing comes, like this one. So what I'll do right now is I will just comb over the top, as it were, just to get rid of that green. And again, need to form a hole in the middle. So let's get rid of some of this excess just for the moment. Now I know this compost that's in here is peat free, and it's one that I actually love to use, but I can very rarely get my mitts on it. So another hole in the middle, and this time I'll put my sow pig in there. I've actually got 3. 1, 2, 3, oh, possibly 5. Yep, going in, giving them a little bit more room. It's always a nice thing to do. So let's just knock off the loose. And then we'll put that in. Going around the edge, because I don't like the soil literally meeting the top of the pot, because when I water it, all the water comes out of the top instead of going through the soil. I always like to keep a slight mound on most of my plants because they'll get water, but they won't be sat in water and rot and drown. So just a little bit more around the edge from the soil that came before, not too much. I better write the label, hadn't I, before I forget what it is. My little cell pig. Salpiglossis Bolero. So there's a label. All done. In it goes. Lovely, another one done. One more to go, but while I've got my gloves off, I may as well write the label for it. And it's the one that I can't pronounce. I know that with the agapanthus, the common name is lily of the Nile. And I'm pretty sure this particular osteospermum is an African daisy. And the reason why I like them is because they're two-tone. I have a real thing for ombres, two-tones. One isn't enough for me, clearly. Okay, so I don't have a pot made up for this. So, bear with me a moment while I just make a pot. Now, a lot of these that I'm repotting, it's too late in the year here for me to pot them now outside. Put them now outside. But if I keep them in the greenhouse and keep an eye on them, should be able to pot out next spring. So this is too dry, so again I will literally give that a good, you see that? All moving about. Good soak through. Okay, so you know the drill. Make a hole. When you're potting big pots, there's a brilliant tip. If I were to put this in like one of the massive garden pots, and you were making that pot from new, if you put this pot, little one, where you're planning to put this plant, put the pot in, fill up with soil while the pot's still in. When you've filled with enough soil, take this pot out, you're left with exactly the right amount of space for this particular plant. It's a nice tip when you've got a bigger pot to fill. Okay, so this is a cracked pot. It's a cracked pot. And Beanie's incoming. There's me thinking I left her alone on the sofa asleep. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Being very, very gentle with the stem of the plant. Any loose soil is welcome to come off. Roots go in. Hole gets filled in. Using the soil that was there before, because we don't like to waste. And if any others come up, I know exactly what they'll be. Though saying that, whether you're outside or in a greenhouse, things still blow in. Now, bear with me on the cam for just a moment, because Beanie is keen, because I'm in here, on having some water. There you go. Happy now? Don't headbutt yourself, you silly woman. Okay. Yes, okay. Well, for the first time in I don't know how long, she didn't have the water. Okay, so that is the African daisy done. That is the sour pig done. These pots that were used, I wait until they dry, so then the soil is a lot easier to get out, less mess. Now you can see already that the agapanthus is not looking happy. It's because it's stressed. It's just moved home. We all get stressed when we move home, but it will be okay. It's watered. Put it in partial shade. It will be fine. It will be good. Last thing that I need to do is just remove the moss from around my lemon tree. A lot of moss in here too. This is where I grow my garlic, which would normally be finished for the moment, and then I'd restart it in October, but you can see there are still 3 growing, so I've got to wait. You do make some funny noises, Beanie. Yep, that was a pigeon. Can't do much about that. Sorry. Okay, so the last of the moss. You can see here where I've got another garlic, which it didn't take last year, but I'm going to rebury it quickly now with some fresh. Another bag. And one more, good measure. My butt is hitting the tomatoes behind me. Kind of makes me go, tomatoes. Okay, so let's even that out nicely. They're lovely and damp, which is what we need. But I do see... Do you see what I see? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I'm going to try. bedded out. Do you see it now? Do you? Don't want it to fall. Hold on, dear fella. Hold on. There we go. Now I can pick you out. Okay. Slugs and snails, the bane of my greenhouse existence. Okay. So, that's it. Not amused by this. Not amused. I don't know how to get rid of that. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Okay, so the last thing that I need to do for the moment is removing my glove would be a good thing. Sorry about the cow. We are done in the greenhouse. So I'll shut up shop. And with a watering can full of tomato feed and water, we'll give these poor dry beasts a drink. Let that sit through. Beautiful gloss on these. I don't know if you can see that, how shiny they are. So many on one vine as well. Very oddly shaped one right there. We'll see what happens with that. Now this one, I don't know if that's quite ready yet, but it's not far off. And look at this beast. It's like a pumpkin. Huge. And this one, I don't think that one's ever ripe for plucking, really. Anyway, one more drink. I'm going to leave the watering can there because I'll come back tonight. But until then, as I passed, I noticed, that's my little butterfly. I noticed that I can grab a couple of these. And these are Nigella Midnight. Their common brother, is Love in a Mist, Persian Jewels, but these are the midnight ones, which are so dark blue they're almost black, which means I love them. This lavender is this year's, so it's still quite small, but this is a jamboree, and I hope you can see that. Purple leaves and green going into a pink bract, which is the top little ears you get. So double colouring. Anyway, I think that is that. Sedum, which I showed you last time, was starting to go a little bit pink. That's pink. And that's it for today.